and this has been continuing for months, then you realize that no, you need to seek medical help. It's a different thing for everybody. We cannot generalize it. Some patients, some women might have it, at a higher scale as compared to the other one. So it's not like that कि सब चलता है.
Could it be the Bollywood movies we used to see earlier के धक्का लग गया, miscarriage हो गया, छोटा मोटा miscarriage हो गया?
Something or the other I will find during section. Too tight loop of cord around neck, or the baby is little weak, or something is there.
One thing of practice that they're doing can harm their pregnancy. Welcome to the first episode of Unheards. In this series, we address questions that women are often hesitant or embarrassed to ask, covering topics like sexual health, sexual hygiene, pregnancy, and HIV, STIs, STDs. The reason we are doing this is because more than 1,000 women die every year in India due to HIV, AIDS, and reproductive tract infection. Over 25,000 women die because of pregnancy complications or trying to prevent it. Today, we aim to break the silence and address common myths and facts about women's sexual health and women health in general with esteemed gynecologist and IVF specialist, Dr. Anuranjita Pallavi. Thank you so much for showing up on such a short notice.
Thank you so much, Juno, for having me here.
I know that doctors are usually have a very busy schedule and it means a lot. So the reason to have you on our first episode is there has been a lot of myths. There has been a lot of fear in women, misconceptions, and to address all of this, I've made a list of questions that I want to ask you. So without wasting any time, I'll just move on to that. Can you tell me what is that moment in your life that defined, when you decided that you want to get into gynecology and not any other major in your field?
Juno, it was during my internship, which was at JJ Medical College, that I realized that the female health, is a very big thing and people are really unaware of it. There is a big knowledge gap. I mean, what do I mean by knowledge gap is there are so many complications that women are suffering in silence. That is a very big thing. And that, guided me to take up something women related, so that I could help them in future in all the ways possible.
All right, that's a really great initiative you took. So you just uh, completely, if not gynecology, what field would you go for?
I cannot imagine myself doing anything else, because I love helping women. I love doing IVF. I love what I do. So I cannot imagine taking any other branch, and then, doing something else. I just love what I do. So that is the thing.
So when you say knowledge gap, is it because of like less lack of education in people,
Lack
sex
of,
education?
see, there is a big lack of education. And what I have noticed is that females are not very open about their health issues. That is the thing. And plus, after so many years of practice, I've realized that, females, especially in rural areas, urban areas, because of the urbanization, the knowledge gap is still lesser as compared to what we deal with it in rural areas, right? Because female are definitely unaware. They don't know what to eat. They have low hemoglobin levels. They are tired. They have 3 or 4 kids. They are not able to look after their health. Nobody is there to take, help them take care and take them to the health center, so that they can complain and get a solution to their problems. So that is one thing which is there, and which is the knowledge gap. And definitely education, lack of education, lack of information among everybody. Even urbanization, urban sector has some other issues and rural sector has some other issues, you know so that is the thing.
Okay. What do you mean when you say urban and rural? I mean, women, a female is a female, right? So the complications are like the same. So what different does it have?
See, in urban sector, it is more of, addictive behavior of a female. I would not, try to generalize it, but then definitely there is more of addiction. When I look at the urban population, there is more of infections which are taking place. There is, they go ahead. I have seen a lot of females going ahead with smoking and alcohol, which I don't say that it is bad or I'm trying to taboo it. Everything is fine, but then they are not aware of what effects it will have on their health later on. you know this is the main problem in the urban sector, where addiction is a problem, where infections are a problem. In rural sector, dietary related complications are more. What I mean by dietary related problems is they have low hemoglobin levels, they are tired, they are not able to do their daily chores because of the tiredness, because of the low hemoglobin levels. They have 3 or 4 kids because they need a helping hand, because somebody who's working in the farm, they would require more children so that, they are able to help them in their farm or in the rural areas. But then a woman does not realize that bearing 3 to 4 kids without adequate supplementation of their diet is taking a toll on their health. So these are the two things, which are different in a rural and an urban sector.
I'm just curious. Don't people in rural area eat more healthy food diet and a lifestyle better than the one in urban?
No, it's different. It's different. It's totally different. You will eat more of carbohydrate related diet, because you're working so much, you're going in the farms. So definitely it is a more of carbohydrate diet as compared to the, normal proteinaceous diet, which you're supposed to have. More iron rich food. No, it is not there. I
Mm.
have dealt with patients when I was in a government college doing my PG. I used to get patients from the rural areas, hemoglobin as low as 3. And that was her fourth child. And when I told the husband that, do you know, like, she's having a hemoglobin of 4, he's like, no, 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 it's okay. We were not aware of it. They do not go for regular health checkups, regular ANC follow-ups. They are that ignorant.
I'm sensing that. Are you suggesting? I know this message has been going on from a while. Are you saying that kids, the more the kids, the worse it gets for the mother? It's a very obvious. But
See, it's not like that. It won't get worse because I cannot generalize it. Previously people used to have 8 or 9 kids, and they were still fine. They were doing everything, but definitely somewhere we are lacking, right? And the dietary changes. Earlier, the things were more fresher. Now we think that we are eating healthy, but we don't know what's happening at the end. If you look at the news, everywhere there is a negative news about everything. This is getting mixed in this is, something is getting mixed in that, the sugar content is high. This is, soap is mixed. I was just watching the news that day. They were saying that soap was mixed in milk. So, so all these, do impact our health. So that is the thing which is there.
okay, and to address this common myths and concerns people have, right? As you know, people are really hesitant in India to discuss sexual health or, bring it up to someone because they're embarrassed or awkward about it. Why is it? Why do people in India have that hesitation where in Western culture, right? We adapt everything about the Western culture, but being open or being vocal about problems and complications.
See, where the world is going, where India is going, where we stand right now, we should be really open about sexual health. We should really, really be open about sexual health. Children should be educated right from fifth or sixth standard about sexual health. It is not only about how sperm reaches the egg, or the fertilization is not only should not be taught as sperm fertilizes the egg, embryo forms and pregnancy is achieved. We have to give them a proper sex education, because I have seen pregnancy at 13-year-old. So I feel this education is really important, really. They should be trained right. If, I have female children, I would train them about sexual education right from 12 to 13 years of age, because that is how the world is becoming. So you have to be really open about it, not consider it as a taboo, because later on it is always the female who's going to bear the brunt of it, right? If a female gets pregnant, she is unmarried, she has to bear the the societal pressure. If the society comes to know, the family is so depressed. That is what I've been seeing. The family comes, the mother comes, the 18-year-old I saw, she was pregnant 6 months. Now who will abort her? That is the kind of situation I've been seeing, and I would be very open about it, and people have to be open about it. People have to train their kids about the sexual education, because it's not a taboo anymore. The more you're open is the more complication, is the lesser complication it will lead to. That is and even for the parents, I would like to give them a message. People who have daughters, they have to educate rather than feeling shy, and rather than nahi hum inse kaise baat kare, hum unse kaise baat kare. It does not happen like that. If a 14-year-old I can see pregnant, you have to educate your kids so that they don't face. I'm not telling, okay, that
You're not
sexually,
promoting it,
I'm
but
not promoting, no, I'm not promoting being sexually active at a younger age is good, because it has its own health complications. If you become sexually active at a very, early age, that can lead to cervical cancers later on. So I'm not promoting that, but then that education has to be provided to protect your children. This is very important, because later on, all these things will lead to complications, which will be difficult to handle.
do we misunderstand? There is a thin line between nudity and keeping sex taboo in India, right? When you say, when there is a thin line between that, right? So are you saying that sex in India is taboo?
Yes, definitely, because still parents feel shy as to how do we talk to our kids, how do we educate our kids. But then the simplest way would be, at least I would tell my other colleagues to, have go to schools, go to create camps, create awareness, because at the end of the day, I understand it becomes very uncomfortable for the parents, to talk about sex education to the children. But then as a society, what we can do is we can just go promote, make it not as a taboo, so that we don't face complications in the society later on.
If you don't mind, are you allowed to discuss any of your past cases or patients that you have come across, that just to make people aware?
No, actually, we don't have that permission. We follow the secrecy of the patient, and
No, no,
we.
I don't disclose their name,
No,
obviously.
no, but
Or
still, that is what I can tell generally, that, I'm seeing pregnant females getting pregnant right from 13 years of age. It was a shock for me also.
that's what I was coming to.
But yeah, so that is what, I would say, that sex education is very
Very
important,
important.
very important. People have to know about, it's not only about fertilization, which I was taught in my, school, that okay, I still remember 8th standard, and there was this girl who asked the question, madam, but how does sperm reach the egg? And then madam said, no, it's okay, it just reaches the egg, so that is how it is. But it should, being a gynec, being into this, being into daily, seeing these patients coming up, it has to be educated in a proper way. Definitely. And we have a lot of movies coming up where they have told openly about it. And I was very happy to see that they are coming up with such societal, information, which is very important. It cannot be a taboo anymore, because the world, it's a totally different world out there now.
The more you're vocal about sex, the more, less of STIs
Yeah,
or
exactly,
population or.
STIs. And then plus, if we have to tell them to practice healthy, like use a condom, use a barrier method, so that it'll protect you from STIs, it'll protect you from pregnancy, it'll protect you from deadly, who is carrying which infection, nobody knows, these days. That is the worst thing. So you have to, being a woman, she has to protect herself. Nobody else can protect her.
If you have to rate India on a scale of 1 to 10, where we stand with lack of sexual education? I
Maybe four
mean,
or
being
five.
Bangladesh is there,
Yeah,
and
maybe
then
4 or 5. People still take it as a taboo.
as a
Yeah,
taboo.
yeah, definitely. So that is how it is, but it shouldn't be like that, because what happens is, if they are not adequately educated, right? If an unmarried girl gets pregnant, she would try to go to some quack, you know, which can lead to another complication, which can even lead to death, because it's a very, quack practices it favors. So even,
For our audience who does not understand that terminology, what do you mean?
quack, I mean, people who are not licensed for an abortion, people who are not, practicing, people who are just practicing without a license, so without the authority, they don't know anything, they just introduce infection, that's it.
out of fear of the society
Yes,
embarrassment to
definitely,
face
definitely,
parents, women
definitely.
tend to go to such people and
Definitely,
ending
yes,
up losing
yes,
their lives.
yes, definitely. So that is why I am a very pro, and I feel people should be girls, because at the end of the day, it is the girl who suffers, it is the woman who suffers. She has to go through all the pains, she has to go through all the tortures. So she should be the one who should be aware, whether she's educated, whether she's not educated. This is very important, that she has to take care of her health.
That's I'm so glad that you brought that up, and I've heard that too. There are people who have not even picked up, what do you call that, doctor's knife to cut open when you do cut open surgery. I'm sorry, I'm just
The knife, I think, the scalpel, the scalpel,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yes, the
and they are
scalpel.
doing abortions and all. I keep
Yeah,
hearing all this thing, and it's so
it's a very,
messed
that's
up.
what I told you. It's a very sad situation, and that is what surprises me. That why is it still a taboo? We have gone far, far, far from the taboo. You know.
What would you do? Say, I'm a eighth grader. I'm in eighth grade in school.
Mm.
What? How much of details can you put in a textbook of a eighth
See,
grade kid? Like,
textbook will. That's what I told you. During my times, it was like sperm reaches the egg, it fertilizes, it forms a baby.
I mean, what more could you educate a kid with?
See, putting it into textbooks is very difficult. There might be restrictions in the language which is used. But then obviously the teacher who's teaching can give the information. During my time, nobody gave me that information. But then now we have gone far away. And people will Google. There is so much of nonsense. Everybody is giving gyan on Google. People might just pick up the wrong information because they are so mentally friable. They might just think that this is the world, but it is not like that. So it is the teacher, it is the guru who has to get this in the correct way. And apart from the teacher, we are there, who can help them in the correct way rather than Googling. Because I get a lot of patients, they just Google it and they come, okay, I might be having this. But it is not like that. We have experienced so many things, over a
Exactly.
period of 17, 18 years. So if Google had to, answer everything, experience wouldn't have mattered.
No, I mean, you Google headache, it gives you last
Yeah,
stage
at
of
the end of
cancer.
the day, it's cancer.
Google is like,
Everything ends
get
to
the
cancer.
chemo
Yeah.
done right away because
Yeah,
you just have few days left.
Cancer. Yeah.
So,
So
it's
definitely.
dangerous to Google things right now.
And everybody is giving.
Has
gyan.
anyone ever walked up to you with performing something on their own that messed them up completely?
I would not like to discuss that.
Not getting anything out
Not
of
getting anywhere. Yes,
ma'am.
Yeah, people do
this,
weird
in this
stuff.
podcast, but
People
but people do
yeah, people
weird
do
stuff,
weird
right?
stuff,
And they shouldn't.
They should.
Don't try to do stuff on your own.
Yeah.
Please reach out to the professionals
Yes,
and
definitely.
don't Google stuff and don't put stuff in you.
Yeah. Yes.
Let the doctors take care of it. There's no other way to
Yes,
say it.
True,
right?
very
And
true.
there's no other way to say this as well. How much would educating kids at a young age help control the population of India?
Very much.
Yeah?
Very much. Because obviously if they are educated, if they know that what is the importance of having less number of kids. See, it's always demand versus supply, right? As the population increases, the supply is going to be less, about of everything. I think that's what it was shown in, I think, Avengers. I think that's what that Thanos tried to do, right? That he just.
Are you saying Thanos is
No,
was right?
He said if the population was cut out to half, there would be adequate supply for everybody, which is true. So definitely if we cut down on the population, don't you think?
I think what you just said,
So you have to control the
I
population,
totally
right?
agree. Thanos should, with the time stone, he should have gone back in time
Yeah,
and
exactly.
made sexual awareness to the people that use the condom or I'm going to snap.
Definitely.
Use the
No,
condom.
but then definitely, it's like, the concept which he said was right. If the population, if in India's population is cut out to half, don't you think we would have enough water? There would be, why US is so clean? Everybody wants to go out, right? Everybody wants to have a good lifestyle.
Of course.
Why do Indians go out? Because of the services. Australia has only 2 CR population in that entire big continent. We might be having that in Mumbai or Pune. So just imagine the resources they have for those 2 CR people. So I agree. I mean, if we start educating, it's all about putting it into their heads right from the beginning so that once they are grown up, they exactly know what has to be done, what is correct and what is wrong. That is it.
So,
Because-
hum do, hamare do is the...
Yes,
what,
definitely.
Not more than 2?
not
Or
more
maybe
than
one?
one or two. That should be it, you know, because you see how the inflation rate is like.
Right.
Everything is just costing, everything is so costly. So चार पांच रखने से क्या फायदा है?
No,
But
it
then
makes
again, I
sense.
also feel, you know, that might be very this thing, but then the society is always driven ki they want a male child, so they keep on having
We need
children.
to be
That's
more
another thing.
practical than emotional when it comes
Yes,
to,
true, true.
you know,
Because yeah, you have
planning
one
a
kid.
family.
Yeah, you have one kid, you give 100% to that kid. That should be it, right? It's not about the number, it's about the quality. It's
Where
not
where
about the
does where do we
quantity.
start from? I mean, it's obviously very awkward and embarrassing to discuss your sexual life with your parents because we're in India, right? How would you recommend one breaks that barrier and, you know,
It should come from both ways.
as a parent, not me as a parent, for others, obviously.
The parent has to do it. You know, they have to break the barrier. They have to make their children, once they are at an age where, you know, they are able to take information. See, whether you talk to them or not, they will do it. You know, it's as simple as that. You don't talk, the choice has to be made by the parent, right? Here the choice has to be made by the parent. It's not that, you know, if I don't talk, how will I talk? By that time the kid will already do it. So you just have to inform them at the right age. There's no harm, there is no shyness, because then if you don't tell them, somebody else will tell them in a very bad way, which will not be good. So why don't you tell them in the correct way? It should be like that.
So I keep forgetting this one line is when it comes to it's the hesitation, right, with the kids and the parents. Um, it's better to make your daughter aware of protected sex because she or he
Definitely.
is gonna do it
Definitely.
anyways.
You know, yeah, exactly. You know, for parents who have a, you know, male child, he should not do it. And for a female, she should not do it. You know, it should be like that. Unprotected, definitely unprotected should not be done. Definitely.
As a
And
guy,
get yourself and get yourself vaccinated with cervical cancer vaccine, you know, at a very early age, that we recommend at 12 to 13 years of age.
uh, is sex a need or a want?
Depends.
Okay, so if you, because I'm asking this because if it's a need, that's something that that's a must to tell your kids because they're gonna do it anyway, right? So it's better that you make them aware of safe
it
sex
all
than
it all depends. Need depends, societal pressure, everybody is doing it, let us do it. It's a mix of everything, so you cannot just pinpoint whether it is a need or a want. Here what we have to do is just educate them in the right way, you know.
coming from a country where women weren't allowed in the kitchen or to cook or to certain places because they were in their that time of the month. I'm sorry, I'm not hesitant to use the term. I just don't know it.
Yeah.
Menstrual
Yeah, in
menstruation
during their periods,
during the
actually,
periods,
yes.
right? Coming from being in the country like that, where we stand today, do you still think that
No, those have, we have come way ahead of that, you know. When, you know, it was considered, it's all considered a myth now, you know, that many patients still ask me, "Are it is a bad blood?" No, it is not bad blood. It is just your own body's blood that you're losing. So yeah, it's all, we have come, you know, far
you're saying it's
from
not
that.
dirty blood?
No, no, not at all. It's your own body's blood.
No, that's it's a out of curiosity. I'm
Yeah,
not saying it's dirty. I'm just
why? Nothing. It's
I
just
don't want to
your
look bad. It's just
own body's
curious.
blood. Yeah, so that is
Still,
it.
people are hiding it in papers, and
Yeah, I never understood the
they're
concept.
hiding it and carrying it.
There's
I
nothing
mean,
to hide. There's nothing to
right?
hide. It's a normal body's phenomenon. It's a normal female body phenomenon. If you don't have it, then that's a problem.
Problem. If you're not
Yeah,
using it,
if you're
that's
not having it, if you're not having periods, like you don't get the onset of periods or don't get it regularly, now that's a problem.
coming to
That's
that.
pathological.
Coming to that,
Yes.
I have one of the questions. I've just listed few questions. Not gonna take much of your time. I
Yeah,
know.
sure.
So the first question is, in your experience, what are the most common health issues women overlook?
Irregular periods is the most common issue. Secondly is the period pains. You know, sometimes they just, kyunki, you know, they have been hearing from their parents that chalta hai, kuch nahi hai. But then we have a lot of diseases which are related to that pain. So that is another thing that they ignore. And then the third is weight is a major, you know, part of their life.
What is that one thing that you would want women to know about their menstrual cycle that you think as a gynec most of the women's don't know?
Track it. You have to track your cycle. You have to see how regular they are. Are you having pain, which is disrupting pain during periods, which is disrupting your day to day activities or your work, or it is hampering your relationship? So, all these are the things which have to be looked into.
You stress a lot on irregular periods, I've noticed. So, are that is that an early sign of something deadly or something really bad that might happen to them?
See, again, it depends. What do I mean by irregular periods is irregular can be either a delayed periods, or it can be an early periods, or it can be between periods, or you have some spottings or bleeding in between periods. Now, every irregular period has an etiology and an underlying problem. The most common issue that we see is PCOS. I think everybody is aware of it. That is the delayed periods. They don't get periods for months. So that is one of the things for which they need to visit their healthcare provider.
How can women better track and understand the connection between their cycle and their mood energy levels?
See, it has to, once they understand the concept of a regular menstrual cycle is usually there's a range. Many patients come to 5-6 दिन आगे पीछे होता है तो 5-6 दिन आगे पीछे is okay. There's always a range. It's not like that, that नहीं 28 days है तो 28 days ही है. It's not like that. It's going to be a range from 25 to 35 days. If there is a variation in 25 to 35, that's absolutely normal. And then you have to understand that then in the early phases you might have some discharge. You might, during your periods, you might have headaches, pains, mood swings. In the later half of the cycle you might have some breast tenderness. So these are the things which are common during your menstrual cycle, which you can look into and track it.
So, I just want to understand, is the is from experience, the mood swings, the anxiety, the
Yes.
panic,
Yeah.
how connected is mental health of a woman to her periods? I just want to know because people say, maybe because she's in her days and that's why she's, reacting to something in a certain way.
It does happen because see, what happens is it's an interplay of estrogen and progesterone in a female's body, right? When estrogen rises, they respond in a different way. When progesterone rises, they respond in a different way. And when both fall down, they respond in a different way. But yes, if you ask me, some food cravings, like, they tend to eat more of sweet, little bit of irritation is more common in the premenstrual phase. That is 1 week prior to their periods. That's very common. That happens to like maybe all of us. All the women out there would not deny, even I would not deny. I get very irritated, when I'm before my period, but then when, the things happen, everything just settles down. So, but then yes, this should not go out of proportion. If it goes out of proportion, then it has to be dealt with. Little bit of irritation is okay. But then if it is just affecting your work, affecting your relationships, then it has to be looked into.
Talking of affecting relationships, are you saying that when a person is completely going nuts, it is it has nothing to do with the periods? You have to get it checked.
See, nuts is a very
I just did it for a lighter moment.
Nuts, I mean, you can, maybe the guy would have done something, right? That's why she's going nuts. Why do always blame the
Shit,
hormones?
can't
Yes.
blame it on the periods anymore.
Yes, definitely. You might not know,
But
right?
there's a certain level of anxiety, depression, or anger you can feel, and you'll be like, you know what, maybe because it's my periods. But after a certain level, you need to know there's something really wrong and you need to get it checked, right?
Yes. A female will always know that. That much I can assure. They will always know
You're
that.
just going in a defensive mode.
No.
I'm
They
sure
will
there is
always
something.
know that, that it is out of proportion. But why always blame the female, right?
No, I just okay. Hear it this way. How does one differentiate between mental health
Yeah,
issues
well, see,
and it's the periods?
yeah,
How do
see, what happens is if you're having little bit of bloating, little bit of mood swings, little bit of, food cravings, that's absolutely irritation, irritability. You don't want to talk to anybody. That's okay. But then once it starts affecting your day-to-day activities, like you want to be completely socially withdrawn, you don't want to talk to anybody at all. And this has been continuing for months. Then you realize that no, you need to seek medical help. Like 2 to 3 months, you're still depressed, you don't want to talk to anybody, you're having these crying episodes. That is definitely not normal. That needs medical attention. But little bit of irritations which settles with periods, that's okay.
I just heard you speak earlier and you mentioned that texting your ex, if you're feeling all those mood swings, it could be it's not depression or anxiety, but it has to do something with your
Hormones.
hormonal
Yes.
changes.
Yeah,
So can you
hormonal
explain
shifts.
little bit like
Yeah, because hormonal shift, that's what I told you, because later in the cycle the progesterone levels rises. That, subtly affects your mental health little bit, like you start getting irritated and everything. But then that has to settle with periods. But then if 3 to 4 months if it continues,
so
you
it's the
need medical.
hormonal
Yeah.
shift that is
Yeah.
causing to take that person some actions like emotion wise.
Emotional, yeah, they do become emotional a little bit prior to their periods, but that should not be out of
And
proportion.
okay, so if you're feeling like texting him is not you, it's your early sign of yeah.
Yeah, you might get depressed, you might, this happens, I think, with all of us. It's like, women are more vocal about it. Men don't say it. That's it. Even men get depressed. Nobody talks about mental health also. I would not be very...
Thank you so much for saying that. Thank you so much. Someone finally said it.
Yeah, so I would not deny, that men also have it, they just don't say it. It's like, they're not saying reflects in their blood pressure, right? You see a lot of heart attacks in men, but then females just cry it out. It is their it is the different mechanisms by which they fight their stress. But I would not say that only females ka hormones aisa rehta hai. Males also have their issues, but then it is just the different way that they combat it. I might feel, if I'm irritated, I might feel better in just texting and screaming at somebody. Male would just be quiet and take stress, and which would lead to their health issues. So different genders have their different ways of handling stress. Females, it's easy for us to say कि चलो थोड़ा बहुत hormones है. Males का हम ये नहीं बोल सकते.
Is that why women live longer? There's a research that
Yeah,
women live longer than
estrogen.
men.
Yes.
Is it because they're expressive?
Expressive, and plus there is estrogen in the body, which is cardioprotective. So you don't see a lot of heart attacks happening in a woman because it always protects your heart, the estrogen, whereas males don't have it. So obviously you would see that, if the wife dies, the husband doesn't live that longer. But if the husband dies, the wife can still live.
So there is a scientific reasoning
Yes,
for why
there's a
women live
scientific-
longer.
yeah, yeah.
Or as you mentioned, I thought, could it be that they take it out all on the men?
No,
Is
no,
that
it's
why
not
men?
like that. It's not like that. It's definitely not like that. But then, yeah.
It's just a joke, guys. It's true.
But it's like just combating. They have different ways of stressing it out, right? Females are more vocal. If I am sad, I'll, tell my husband, कि अरे आज मेरे साथ ऐसा हुआ, ऐसा हुआ, ऐसा हुआ. But he doesn't say. He's just
not being
quiet.
expressive.
Yeah, he's less expressive. So my BP is always 90-60. It's always because I vent it out. But men ka aisa nahi hai ki men don't feel depressed, men don't feel stressed, but they have different mechanisms, and that is what lead to more of cardiac issues in men as compared to women.
Women.
And plus estrogen is definitely there in women. So but stress plays definitely a big role on your health and getting diabetes and everything.
What is the best practices a girl can adapt, a woman can adapt to overcome all of these problems post or pre or while during the periods?
Nothing. You can go for lifestyle modifications, you can go for some therapies, meditations, yoga, which will help you out. And that is it what is required.
Isn't it?
Yeah. That is
like,
it what is
That's a
required.
lot, right?
Yeah.
Isn't there any way day to day life mein, like say there is a woman who has kids to look after and doing all, and she doesn't have a lot of time on her hand
She has to take time. There is no other.
for herself, at least.
Yes, because it is for herself. You know,
Reading, I had a myth about reading books, some stupid myth. I have a list of it. I'll take you through them once we are done talking about
Sure.
this. Can you tell me like a little bit of routine that they can follow during their periods for a better and healthier?
Eat healthy, eat diet which is giving you more energy. Eat more of less of carbohydrates, more of proteins, and maintain basic hygiene. That is what is required. And don't do heavy workouts, heavy weight lifting. These are the basic things that they can do. The most important is maintain basic hygiene. That's it. And not and eat healthy and eat foods which are more rich in proteins as compared to simple carbohydrates.
Are there any medications a woman can take during the periods to reduce the pain, and is it healthy to
Yes,
do?
definitely. They can take, there are a lot of painkillers, because what pain they have is a spasmodic pain, and we have a lot of drugs which we always prescribe to help them getting rid of these period pains, because it's a different thing for everybody. We cannot generalize it. Some patients, some women might have it, at a higher scale as compared to the other one. So it's not like that ki sab chalta hai. It's not like that. So a person who is having pain, a girl who is missing her school because of her periods, we have to treat them. It's like that. And there are so many treatments which are available. So why to hide it? Why to take it with that attitude कि चलता है, सबको ही होता है, तुम्हें हो रहा है तो कौन सी बड़ी बात है? It's not like that.
Do's and don'ts of uh, periods, like during the periods, what are the do's and don'ts that people usually ignore? And
That's what I told you. The simple basic hygiene. That
can
is
a
the
woman
only thing.
enter, like when you say can a woman enter a swimming pool? Again, not from me, just out of curiosity, people have asked this. Can women enter a swimming pool while
Yeah, because
periods?
initially we used to have the normal sanitary pads, but now we have tampons, we have menstrual cups which they can use, and they can go ahead with swimming. There's no problem at all.
Mm.
People can swim even in pregnancy. There's no problem.
Yeah, I've been
Mhm.
lately, I've been seeing a lot of women doing
Yeah, yeah.
belly dancing and
Yeah,
backflips and
everything. Yeah,
whatnot. Is that safe for?
Back flipping, I would not say, but then yes, basic exercises, weight training, would keep them active during their pregnancy. So definitely, I would recommend exercises to be done during pregnancy.
So are you saying that women shouldn't be isolated during a pregnancy, but
No, not at
more
all.
exposed to?
Yeah, definitely. I to tell them to work till they are 9 months.
Are
The
you
more
sure
they,
about that?
yeah, the more they work, is the better chance of them having a normal delivery. The
Why?
more sedentary lifestyle you have, is the difficult it becomes for you to have a normal delivery.
Why are women, when I see women being very paranoid and scared when they're pregnant in India? Could it be the Bollywood movies we used to see earlier के धक्का लग गया, miscarriage हो गया, छोटा मोटा miscarriage हो
That
गया?
is there. First 3 months, so we definitely recommend that first 3 months are the most crucial months. Not that 9 months are not crucial, but first 3 months, when the baby is actually forming. So that time we just tell them then not to lift heavy weights, not to move about, stop having jerky. You should not have any jerky movements, because the chances of miscarriages are there. So those precautions definitely has to be taken. But your day-to-day activities you can carry up till 9 months. There's no problem.
Also avoid eating papaya, fruits like
Yes,
papaya and
yes, because it is known to, bring about uterine contractions, which can
any
lead
other
to
fruit
abortions.
or
What
anything that cannot be eaten by the pregnant woman in her early pregnancy. That
what we
could
recommend is stop eating pineapple and papaya, but rest of
pineapple as well.
yeah, same thing. But then rest of it they can eat in moderation, because sometimes people ask me, is it safe to eat kesar? Is it safe to eat dates? What I tell them is, you're not going to eat this much, right? You're just going to eat 2 or 3 pieces. There's no problem in that.
You just make pregnancy look a little easier and nothing to be freaked out or scared
No, not
about,
at all.
right?
Not at all. Not it's a very good
Rather,
feeling.
when a girl is pregnant, you should be more supportive
Yeah,
and
yeah. And
make her
rather than
feel.
it's beautiful for a female, being pregnant and going through that journey is really beautiful.
They're not scared of pregnancy, but they're scared of one thing. So this might be a very uncomfortable question to you, to any gynec right now. I'm sure you get this a lot, and I just want to clear the air by: is postpartum
Mm.
risky and it's unhealthy? Is that true?
Depends. If you ask me, in so many years, I have seen so many complications. But no, we are there to save them, right?
Right, but
So we are always there. So that is why I would not say it is not. It is definitely, it is risky. We have seen so many high risk patients. I have dealt with so many high risk patients. But at the end of the day, we manage them, and make them as normal as ever. So that is why I always say, if you are dealing with some complications during pregnancy, like you can have diabetes during pregnancy, hypertension during pregnancy, you always get yourself delivered in a setup where it's a multi-speciality hospital, because then there is facility to help you out. That is the thing. But it is not, I would not say risky to her pregnancy hai. If we take it that ways, but it doesn't mean that we stop getting pregnant and we stop delivering. Every patient is a high risk, but then we are there to deal with it. That is the thing. They should not be scared. We are there.
how open are you to answer a controversial question?
Like,
Do uh, it's been said that the cut open surgeries or the
C-section.
postpartum C-section has been done to control the count of births happening lately.
No,
Okay.
it is not like that. I mean, there might be people, there's a gray zone in every, field. I would not deny that. But then, no, it is not like that. What we do is what is required at that moment. When patient asks me, ki, Madam, normal delivery ho jayega kya? But then I cannot answer it then and there, right? Because I don't know what will happen if the baby passes motion. My target or any gynec's target is at the end of the day, healthy mother and healthy child. They don't think about the count, they don't think about the complications, they don't think about anything. Because we are knowledgeable, right? It is our duty to do something. Patient might tell ki nahi normal kara do, pani kam hai, normal kara do. But where does our knowledge get into that place, right? We have to guide them. I cannot just do a normal delivery when the water is less because they are telling me to, right? I will never do that because I know the complications, I have seen that and come. So they have to trust me. So that is it. But then, yes, that mindset is there. But then they have to trust their doctors. Nobody is here to, do a C section just like that without any reason. No, I would not. Any gynec, you pick up any gynec, they will never do this until and unless it is genuinely required, because our target is safe mother and safe child. That is it.
So like you guys don't do it by choice. You don't have a
No,
choices.
no, 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 no.
Could it be that when people bring this up that कि हमारी दादी को तो 8 बच्चे हुए थे उनको कुछ हुआ नहीं, like people had a lot of kids back in days, so they say कि तब normal delivery होती थी तो अब क्यों C section हो रहा है?
Lifestyle has changed, na? How much they used to work earlier. Now do we work? I have so many patients in IT sector, or they are working. We are more in. That's what I told you. We have to work. We have to work till the end. But then at the end of the day, there are certain things which are there in our hands. That's it. There is only one drug which helps us, having a normal delivery. We don't have like hundred of drugs which we can try. But then obviously the lifestyle which women used to have earlier, they don't have it right now. So that is where the difference comes. The pain tolerance has reduced. Some patients come to me, they're like, nahi, bas mera C-section kar lo, mere se nahi hoga. So what am I supposed to do? They just can't handle it. The moment they get a contraction, they're like, mere se nahi ho raha. You go ahead with the C-section. Okay. So that is how it is. We cannot generalize it, but then, the lifestyle has definitely changed over a period of so many years.
Okay. And is there any funnel that a woman has to follow during a pregnancy that they can get without counseling? No, I mean there it's important for counseling. From what time to what time a woman should start her counseling to, and how
See,
often she should?
ideally, what we recommend is that you visit as soon as the pregnancy is diagnosed. Then you have to come every monthly visit once till 7 months, and then every fortnightly in the 8 month, and 9 month you have to come weekly. But then if you're working, at least minimum 3 visits should be there.
I've heard this that once that they couldn't feel the baby for a while and then again. So could it be this just उनका दिमाग में ये वहम है या फिर?
No, 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 no. I will never believe that, because the mother is always right. And I don't believe any gynac will deny that. If I get a lot of patients who say that, my baby is not moving, fine. I always trust them. All my reports might be normal. But if the mother is saying that the baby is not moving, means the baby is not moving. That's it.
But then how, like,
No, the mother always knows. That is the end of it. All your theories, all the book's knowledge on one side. But if the mother says that the baby is not moving, means there is definitely a problem which my tests or my reports are not able to pick it up. That is something which is happening at a microscopic level, which we never deny.
because it could be only felt and
Yeah, it is only felt, and it is only felt by the mother. And trust me, till today, after so many years, when 9 months, suddenly they come, my baby is not moving, and we'll end up doing a C-section or something or the other. I will find during section too tight loop of cord around neck, or the baby is little weak, or something is there. Or the water is less. They just know it. They just know it.
But then the baby was, they could feel the movement again after a while, like
No,
another.
we give them some time. Definitely, we give them some time. Sometimes we guide them also that the baby might be sleeping for 4 to 5 hours. Sometimes your sugar content might be low, as a result of which the baby is not moving. So we give them something sweet and then we try to take it out. But then repeatedly 2 or 3 days, if they say, that means there's a problem. Immediately we don't. Depends upon which phase of the pregnancy they are. But then definitely, if constantly, if they are saying, that means there's a problem.
And when a woman is pregnant, they are asked to sleep in a certain way, or to, from what I know, is to place the head in the right position of the baby. Is
No,
that
it's not about the baby. What I would say that they should sleep in the left lateral, like turn towards the left and sleep. The whole concept is it increases the blood supply to the baby and helps them, helps the baby grow in a better way. So they should always turn towards the left and then sleep.
always to the left and
Yeah,
sleep?
and they should not lie down on their back and suddenly get up because there's a pressure on the major blood vessels. So the moment they get up, their BP might just fall down and they might just have a fall. So that's why we always recommend that you don't sleep straight on your back. You always sleep towards the left and then you get up slowly. That should be the thing.
One thing that you come across a lot of times in your patients that cause complications to a pregnant woman, one thing or practice that they're doing can harm their pregnancy. What is that one thing?
Not eating right. That's the first thing. Stressing out during pregnancy. That's the most common thing. And these are the two things. Otherwise, they do fine.
So when you come across patients like, stressing out all the time, I'm pretty sure you get a lot of texts and calls, and so how do you deal with that? Because
Just
that
guide
they
them
are
in the
freaking out, like, what, it just caked, what, I don't know, something is wrong, I'm not eating, or I'm not, so how do you deal with that? Because you have a lot of patients to take care of.
I just guide them in the correct way. That's it. That's what I'm here for. I can't freak out with them, right? So if they are freaking out, I cannot freak out. So I have to be calm and I have to tell them what is the right thing rather than they do Googling something and, getting into a problem.
Google is definitely not a right place to do research on,
Definitely.
because there,
Definitely.
if I Google something, from my experience, it gives me 10 different
True. True.
answers and different perspective. So
True.
hence the app that you have come up with, which is definitely going to change people's life, because they can just go to the app. And can you tell me a little bit about Elsa app,
Okay.
and how did this idea come to you?
Actually, it was during COVID times when I realized that, online sector was a big thing because nobody wanted to go to the hospital. And then at that time, I thought how to come up with something because gynec and infertility is what I have done all my life, right? For so long, I've been just dealing with women, their health issues, their mental issues. So that's what we decided that let us come with a platform which will help women in all the ways. Like it has all the knowledge which I have gathered over a period of like so many years. Even the slightest question, like, can I dye my hair? Elsa has a solution to it. So I have put in all my experiences in that app so that it can just go out and have an impact on all the females. And Elsa, why? Because Elsa denotes female strength and female empowerment. So that is why that name Elsa was selected because everybody knows Elsa and everybody is, female strength. So that is how we came up with the name, and it has everything what women want and what women have or might have.
I remember talking to you for the first time when you introduced me to the app, and you said, I asked you what this app is. So you just said, you concluded in it's like the older sister, a mother,
Yes,
and a
definitely.
partner that you've been too
Definitely.
hesitant to ask, or you were looking for. So
Yes.
that's very sweet that, that even a 16-year-old or a
Yeah,
14-year-old girl going
definitely.
through complications without coming to a conclusion of doing something unethical
Definitely.
and
Yes.
risky goes to the app and just,
Yes. Yes.
finds out how
Yes.
this.
Definitely. It has been created with so much of tender loving care, for all the women out there. So it has everything. It has, I told you, for so many years, whatever I have felt, that's all there in the app. And hence the name also female empowerment and female strength. And that is how it is. Females are multitaskers. They can do 10 things in one go. Males cannot do. Males have that one mindset, एक ही काम करेंगे. Females को, she'll look after the kids, she'll go to work, she will, at the end of the day, the maid will ask the female, right, what has to be cooked. So she has to manage so many things. So they are miracles by God.
So that's very interesting. Since you're an IVF specialist,
Yes.
For me, when I first heard it, IVF was like test tube babies, and then I thought that they make babies in the test tube
Yeah.
as a kid.
Yeah.
So can you tell me what IVF is, and what is the process of it?
See, when I was in school and when I first heard,
Don't do this. We'll be here the whole night. We'll be here the whole night.
नहीं,
Directly start with the answer.
नहीं,
मेरा
नहीं.
question तो हो गया.
Okay. So, when I was in school and I first heard about this test tube baby, I also used to think that the babies are, how do they make babies in the test tube? But when I actually came into Gynec and read about IVF and started doing IVF, I realized that that was not the case. It's a totally different world out there. So what do we do in an IVF is we collect the mother's eggs, we take the husband's sperms, we inject each sperm inside each egg and make embryos. And then these embryos are actually the potential future babies, which we transfer them back to the mother. So that's the whole process about IVF.
I've heard that IVF babies are not healthy.
Yeah, that's the common myth which revolves around IVF. But then I would like to tell it that, the risk of you having an abnormal child through IVF or natural conception is the same. IVF doesn't add any additional risk, as compared to the natural conception. So that is the thing. So what I mean by this is, if in natural conception you have a chance of 1% abnormality, the chance in IVF is also the same. It's not adding anything more. So it's the same. So there's nothing to worry if you're going ahead with IVF.
Rather, you get, to put it in simpler words, you get to pick the right embryos, if I'm right,
Yes.
to put it into the mother's bag.
Yes. Yes.
And from that means there is a high chances of eliminating all the bad ones and making sure that you
Yes,
get a good
correct,
quality
correct,
baby.
correct. Yes. Yes.
So how does
definitely.
that work?
See, suppose taking a hypothetical situation, suppose I get 5 embryos in a mother, and IVF is always about results. Everyone wants results because they are so socially, mentally, financially stricken. So if I have 5 embryos or 6 embryos of a patient, I always choose the best ones so that I am able to deliver the results in the first chance. So that's whole, the concept is. It's like when I was naturally conceived, I don't know which grade of embryo I was. But when I'm getting a chance to choose, I would choose the best
So you get to
ones.
pick while
Yes,
doing in
definitely.
IVF.
Yes, definitely.
That's good to know. So this is just a myth. IVF babies
Yes,
and
yes,
natural babies are
definitely,
equal,
definitely, yes.
equally
Yes.
healthy
Yes,
or
yes,
equally abnormal.
healthy, yes.
Next question is, what is the right age to get married? Because there are challenges and complications people face when they get married very late,
Yeah.
right? So what is the
Yeah.
right age to get married?
So, see, the thing is, the basic concept which we have to understand here is there is a difference in the, physiology of a man and a woman. What happens in a male is they keep on forming sperms throughout their life, because every 3 months new sperms come. However, this is not the case in a woman. What happens in a woman is they are always born with fixed number of eggs which will decline with age, both quantitatively as well as qualitatively. So the ideal age is anywhere between 25 to 35 years of age, because this decline in the quantity as well as quality is very rapid after 35 years of age. So definitely I would promote early marriages as compared to delayed marriages.
Wow. What is the major cause of, like, common, you find very common in women who are infertile? What has caused that?
See, there are a lot of factors which can lead to infertility. We have male factor and female factor. Male factor is most of the times related to the sperm count, which is definitely genetic is a role where we are seeing a lot of patients, who might have genetic.
So majorly is because of genetic.
Majorly is
But
because
how
of
did
genetic,
that
but
person
then
happen if it was a
no,
genetic?
no. The parents might be normal, but because of some development or genes which got mutated at the time of fertilization of that particular individual,
Okay.
these things have happened. So, but then we are seeing a lot of male factors coming up because definitely genetics and apart from genetics, it's the lifestyle like smoking, alcohol is leading to low sperm count, lack of exercise, lack of sleep, lack of stress. However, in a female, there can be various factors like, one may be that the person is not ovulating regularly, or there might be a tubal blockage, or there might be a problem in the uterus. So these are the factors, with which patients present to us
So
as
can
infertile.
we say, like, if you have to divide in percentage the
Mm.
patients you have come across, which was it a male or the female that were infertile?
We have to treat them as a couple. We always look at them as a couple. We cannot say that this is more and this is less.
That will lead
Yes,
to
yes,
divorces
controversies.
and
Yes, controversies. So I would not want to comment on that. I would just say that, we have to treat infertility as a couple.
is that why people now say that we are pregnant rather than my wife is pregnant,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, that's correct. That's absolutely correct.
All right. My next question is, okay. My next question is, what are the early signs of HIV or AIDS that a
Okay.
person can,
AIDS or
detect?
HIV, AIDS is a full blown infection. So in HIV, basically, it is sexually transmitted. It is usually transmitted when a person is, having multiple sexual partners. Early, they might not present with anything, but once the immunity goes down, once the CD4 count decreases, they might present with various sorts of infections, all over the body. So that's how once we get them tested, we come to know that they are HIV
So
positive.
you don't realize it until your immune has gone low.
Yes,
Once it
correct.
starts going low,
Yes, yes,
you'll
yes,
you'll know
yes.
that you had HIV throughout
But then
your
it's your
life.
conscience too. If you've had multiple sexual partners,
Then there is a
yeah,
possibility
and
of
if
that.
something like this is happening, you might know it yourself.
So, not judging anyone, but having multiple sexual partners, what is the this obviously not a good thing, but what are the consequences and what?
See, I would not want to judge anybody on this question, but I can tell you the medical aspects. Women who are having multiple sexual partners or early age of, sexual intercourse, they are more likely to develop sexually transmitted disease and cervical cancer later on. So, these are the consequences which they may face later on in life. So, this is the medical aspect. Even if you look into the books, you'll come to know that, multiple sexual partners, early onset of sexual intercourse does lead to cervical cancer. So these are the medical, and plus emotional and stress, definitely. So these come along with that.
So, like, when you say early, how early is not, like, when can a woman have sexual intercourse and get involved in intimate relation with this partner?
Onset of periods, as early as onset of periods. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
what is the right? When do you start getting
Third,
periods?
like average age is 13 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
but
So I've seen.
the recommendation to have
I
is
would not say before 21 years.
before 21 years is
Yeah.
the right age to.
Yes, definitely.
I doubt that's happening. So it's
That's
better that
definitely
you
not-
make people aware than,
Yes,
because they're
yes.
gonna do it anyways, right?
Yes,
As we
yes, yes. So
spoke.
it's
So
better to be, that's what I said, not to judge anybody, but then you have to be aware about the consequences.
have you come across, again, I know you won't disclose it, but just for the audience, you've been coming across cases like um rape cases. You might gynecologist is the first person that they approach once
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
What are the ages that people, girls have walked in with that has?
That's very sad. I would not want to disclose it, but rape is something which is extremely painful to see. It's extremely painful. But then at the end of the day, we realize that the person who's raping is anyways not mentally stable because you cannot justify rape. But then it's really painful. It's a very delicate issue, and I would not want to disclose the age, but yes, very young. Also, I've seen children being raped. It's very sad.
And is the worst case that you could have, I mean,
It's very sad. I've seen
the
really.
kind of treatments that you might have to give them is not normal, right?
It's not normal. It's very hurtful. I mean, it's really hurtful. Nobody can see that so easily. You cannot just, and then you realize what kind of a society are we living in.
We want to live in a society where it's normal for a mother or a father or sister to talk to a young girl and let her know what is an inappropriate
Yes.
touch
Yes.
feels like,
Definitely.
so that the babies don't go through all of this. And
yes,
right, isn't it
definitely.
important? So
Yeah, very important. The young girls, kids should be trained as early as 5 to 6 years about the good touch and the bad touch, and about the sex education. Maybe once they attain their periods, 12 to 13 years, where they are mentally receptive. They should be trained. They should be guided in the correct way so that they do not fall into the prey of such circumstances, which are really hurting, and it's a life changing thing. It's very sad.
that's really sad to hear. So I would like, obviously, even schools should start doing this as soon as they can,
Yeah,
rather than just this is what this is,
yes,
rather
this
than
is what
doing
this
that
is.
a little
Yeah,
more to it,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Not that we are saying that do have sex in the age of 12. It's just something they should be aware from that age. That what
Yes,
is
correct.
it's very
Correct.
important to have
Awareness, being aware is very important. That is the thing.
knowledge is like
Yes.
half cure
Correct
to
knowledge, because half knowledge can be dangerous.
dangerous.
You have to know things correctly to decide correctly.
That's why diagnoses are so important, because
Yes, definitely.
once you know what the disease is, it's half cured
Yes,
there,
Yes,
because
yes.
you've detected the disease, right?
Yes.
And that's one of the reasons when you told me about your app. You said it's not just an app, it's like an older sister
Who
or
will
older
guide you, correctly.
a mom or father or a partner who would guide you
Yeah,
and answer all your
true. Very true.
questions that might make you feel uncomfortable, hesitant, or even scared.
Yeah.
So Elsa is now there to help you and guide you through all your pains, your stress, your insecurities.
Yes, insecurities. You might not
Insecure-
be comfortable, yes, in
yes.
talking about some issues.
Can you tell me a little bit about the app and what it does? I know you wouldn't want to promote it here, but still.
Elsa, as the name denotes, we really thought about the name for long, and then we came up with this name because Elsa, everybody knows, right? It's the Disney character. But then if you get into the details about Elsa, it denotes female strength, female power, and that is what Elsa is. So Elsa has everything which a female would have or would want to know. I have put in all the information of all these 15, 16 years, into that app with so much of love that any issue they will just know it, and it'll guide them correctly without giving them, any false information.
Right.
That is
Rather than
very
going
important.
to
Rather than Googling, rather than going to Chat GPT, it is something that, has been read, that, has been, properly read, proved, and then
brought
brought
into
into, brought
practice.
into an app and practice. Yes.
That's really great. So people who are wondering where you can get this app, we have mentioned the link, the download link below. And you can download the app. It's very user friendly and very self-explanatory. Once you download the app, you go through it, you'll know what it actually does. And to more about this app, you can follow Elsa Women or you can follow Ma'am.
Yes.
And before we go, I just have few questions. And
Before that, I'll ask you one question.
yeah, go ahead.
So, was it information for you? Was it informative for you?
Well, as a man, I never thought that I should be knowing all this.
Yes.
But now that I know it's so important,
Yes.
like I'm pretty sure I'll have a daughter someday or I'll have a partner. So
yes.
I think it's
very important to know a female, what women want
right.
and what women need. It's very important because they're very delicate. They just require tender, loving care. That's it.
Or just download the Elsa app.
Oh, yes.
Just kidding. So I just have this question, okay? Has China made a super baby?
Super baby. Interesting. No, it's not a super baby, but it's a designer baby is what they are trying to make. They have not actually, being successful in making a super baby. What I mean by designer baby is they have come up with this CRISPR gene, which is able to eliminate some diseases. The babies which they have made is has eliminated HIV gene. So these children are born without the HIV gene, so they will never get this disease. But then still, it is on research purposes, and more information has to be still provided on based on that.
But from what I heard, that the person who did this, the scientist, I don't know his name, starts with H,
Yes.
and he was in prison for like 3 years.
Yes, because
it's an unethical
still,
practice.
yes, unethical and disrupted a lot of consents, and there is too much of gene manipulation. God did not make us like that, right?
So it's not a right thing to do.
We'll see in future what future has in store for us.
Isn't IVF gene manipulation? Just kidding. Isn't
No,
it?
it's not gene manipulation. No.
What
not
would you
at
call it?
It's just making a baby. That's it.
A healthier one.
A healthier one. Yes.
Has it come? Is there any research or any papers that proves that IVF baby could be more healthier and more like have a better IQ because of the choice of the embryos could
See,
make.
there is no research paper as such, but then definitely, I told you the reason, right? We select the best A grade embryos because we want results, and everybody wants results. So that is how it is. We definitely select an A grade embryo. We would not prefer to transfer a C grade embryo until and unless we are not left with much option. But then, yes, if it is an option and if we have it, we would transfer the best.
Coming to, there is this movie that I recently watched, Good News.
Yeah.
And
yes.
what a brain rot, man.
I've heard a lot of queries, being into IVF. If you people have watched Good News, you know what was the concept of, exchange of the sperms. But then I would like to make it clear that nothing of this sort happens. It is only for, movie and entertainment purposes. But in real life, this definitely does not happen because we follow strict guidelines. There is no way that something like this can happen.
Whatever is supposed to reach, it's reaching the right place.
Yes,
It's not.
yes,
You're
yes.
not messing it up, right?
No, not at all. Not at all. We have such strict quality control and checks, and double checking that these things just don't happen.
What about Bad News? There's one more movie called Bad News, and it's like
Bad News had a different concept again. There can be two eggs which got ruptured, and one got fertilized by some other guy, and the other got fertilized by some other guy. But then I don't want to comment on that.
So there's
because
no
it's a
answer
very
to it.
grey zone.
Is it
yes.
possible though?
It's a very grey zone.
All right. Never mind. Let's move on to.
Yes.
I want you to tell me what is a myth and a fact
Yes, sure.
in very brief.
Sure, no problem.
Hold on, let me find it. And all right, some of this might sound stupid to you because I've done this research.
No problem.
All right, you can't get pregnant if you stand up afterwards.
No, pregnancy has nothing to do with this. So it's a myth.
Okay. Eating certain foods boosts fertility and sexual skills.
Sexual skills, I won't say, but then yes, boosts, fertility is like more of antioxidants, food containing more of antioxidants. Yes, it's a fact.
The womb can wander around the body. It's pretty confusing one. No?
No, it doesn't happen. It's a myth.
Riding a bicycle can make you lose your virginity.
Virginity, the term is still valid in these days. I would ask you.
This is just research. This is not me. Not me.
See, earlier days, virginity was just, identified by the hymen breakage, during the first sexual intercourse. But actually, in reality, hymen can break because of various reasons like jumping, exercising, cycling. So yes, it's I
There's
would
a
not say
possibility.
virginity, but then hymen can get broken by these activities.
Okay, good to know.
Virginity, I would not say anything because it's a very sexist thing. So I would not say that.
I'm sorry to use that term. Wasn't aware of that. See, thanks to you, because of you, I'm getting to know what is
Yes,
right and what
true.
is
Very
not right to say. Okay. Sleeping in position affects baby's gender. Sleeping in certain position.
No.
No.
Baby's gender is decided at the time of fertilization, not by sleeping. So it's a myth.
Too much reading harms reproductive health.
No, it doesn't. Too much reading is good for your brains. It'll protect you from Alzheimer's and memory loss later on.
So it's a myth.
Yeah.
Orgasm can cure hysteria.
No, it's a myth.
But you might have come across this, right? It's not only me. Right?
Yeah, these questions
Okay.
do come up now and then.
Cold feet cause infertility.
No, it doesn't.
Menstrual sex kills partners or crops. This is a good one, no? Can it
It's
kill
a
a
myth.
partner though?
No.
I wonder.
Yes. it's a myth.
Pregnancy impossible during first time?
No, it's actually a fact that you can get pregnant if you have unprotected sexual intercourse at the time of ovulation.
This is my favorite one.
Mm.
Sneezing after sex can prevent pregnancy.
No. No, nothing like that.
Hilarious, right? Okay. Having sex with your socks on makes conception more likely. The stock works faster when your toes are warm. Whoever came up with this it deserves a salary hike, bro.
No, it doesn't happen.
It's a myth. One of the funniest incident that you might have, I'm sure it might have triggered some memory and any funny incident that you want to share that because of not being aware, they ended up in that situation. And if they would have been aware
They
through sex
thought-
education or education, that wouldn't have happened.
I would not say the most funny because it becomes like an offense, to anybody's query. The strangest thing which I've heard is like they thought that I pill or emergency pill was a regular pill, and then the girl actually got pregnant. So that is the thing. So
Is it not?
No.
Is it not a like?
No,
So,
it
like,
is not
if
a
someone
regular
is
mode
not
of
using-
contraception. You should use only if your basic contraceptive method has failed. So, it makes your cycles erratic and it is not foolproof for pregnancy.
Does it cause infertility? You mentioned it.
No.
causes infertility.
Emergency pill does not cause infertility.
Well, good to know knowledge. What would you say to the girls
Hmm.
who are either about to get pregnant or planning a family or,
Okay.
scared to get pregnant or scared to make a baby?
Pregnancy is a beautiful journey. So, definitely you should not get scared about it. And one more thing is, maintain a healthy lifestyle, eat healthy, do yoga, medication, because your health matters. Your mental health matters, your physical health matters.
That was very informative podcast. And I'm glad you were the first person to do this.
Thank you.
This
so
was our
much.
first podcast too of the new IP that we're starting called The Unheards,
Okay.
where we are giving equal opportunity to people who are stories often go unheard,
Yes.
right? And spreading awareness, giving out the right message, and highlighting the right people.
True.
So you were one of them,
Thank
and
you
thank
so
you
much.
so much for coming to our podcast. I'm glad, and we will see you in the next episode. Meanwhile, subscribe to our YouTube channel and also leave a like and comment. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
So that's a wrap for today. If this episode made you think, smile, seen or heard, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. This is just a beginning. We have so much more coming your way. Unfiltered chats, meaningful conversations, because everyone has a story to share. And till then, stay healthy, keep your heart healthy, keep your body healthy, and your brain healthy. Everything is connected. See you in the next one. Thank you.